Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. I don't know why these logos are back to front like this. Let's get that sorted. I don't know why that would be. I don't know why it looks like that. So, very odd. Anyway, I don't know why everything's back to front. No idea. Anyway, we will go on anyway. And let's see what we can do here. That's going to be the case. Just do that. Do that. And for the minute, just for a minute, do that. It's just more. Okay. Easy as one, two, three. Boom. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. I'd like to take this moment to thank Al Heyman for once again taking the time to listen to my videos, and for those of you out there that bear witness or see what is going on here. And you remember a long time ago I said that Tyson Fury should drop all his belts and the linear heavyweight championship, well, he should run around with and defend his belts against them. Well, that's what Tyson Fury is actually doing. You all said it was a joke, it was a laughable, it's not going to happen. Remember when I said to you all about the possibility of Ruiz versus Wilder being the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing, and that it would be Al Heyman's plan to unify it? Is more important for him to become undisputed and have the undisputed belts. That would be his goal, the heavyweight championship world, all the heavyweights. That meant something under his brand of PBC. Well, we saw that, and what happened not too long after that, we saw Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder in the studio together, with the possibilities of those two becoming going on to try and become undisputed champion. Of course, the other powers that be don't want that to happen, clearly. You remember when I talked about the PBC belt, and that the only reason why the franchise belts come out now is because the PBC belt was in plans for it to happen. Well, you all told me and said to me, well, that can't happen. Well, you all people got to stop that crap about it ain't going to happen and the realm of possibilities. Well, here's some other suggestions. Uncle Al, I want to thank you for listening to my suggestions. Here's a few more suggestions I'd like to put out there. Please listen carefully. I think the PBC belt is great, but the PBC belt will only work if the best fight the best. And here's how I suggest this PBC belt, How I believe that the PBC belt needs to have a PBC championship. And the way the PBC championship works is like the World Boxing Super Series. But you've got to find a way of doing this World Boxing Super Series without the long stretch of time over 2-3 years. We need to do it in a way that is much more quicker. And you've got the money and probably the investment to buy some of the best fighters in the world, even if some of these boxers become freelance, so they can go on and fight in this tournament. There's a lot of money on the table for the winner. They all drop their organizational belts because they're paying to the sanctioning fees. Let them all drop their belts and let them come to the PBC, join the PBC, and then we can have a heavyweight PBC tournament, right? Imagine a PBC tournament with the top 10 heavyweights in the world, all right? And anybody who doesn't want to take part in that tournament, it's quite clear they don't want to be a part of being the heavyweight champion of the world or the best heavyweight in the world. We've seen it. The World Boxing Super Series has been a great success. And in a debate I had last night with a friend of mine, I said, those people who take part in these tournaments, you can't say they don't fight the best of the best, because they do. For the most part, they do. They fight guys that are in form. They fight young guys. They fight the best fighters that are available. Apart from those fighters, of course, who don't take part in the tournament. But then I think those people that don't take part in the tournament, that's their problem. So we have to kind of say, what? The guys that are in the tournament, they're the guys we've got to recognize as the best or want to fight the best. The other people want to be businessmen and duck and dive and make a bit of cash on the side. That's fine. but they're not legit. The legit people are the ones who enter the tournaments. Well, that should be the rule from now on. Because if we really want to talk about the best fighting the best, well, here's a platform for the best to fight the best. So the PBC belt should be about the best fighting the best. You start off with Wilder versus Ortiz. Well, that's one of the best fighters because nobody wants to fight Luis Ortiz. Despite them saying, like me too, calling him 50 years old, it's still the best fighting the best because guess what? I don't see anybody running up to want to fight Luis Ortiz in any hurry. You name any heavyweight in the world, I don't see anyone. Tyson Fury, right down. Anthony Joshua, Gideon White, name them. So this guy Wilder's fighting Luis Ortiz again. Make all the excuse you want. Nobody wants to fight Luis Ortiz, but you're calling him a very good heavyweight. But you're saying he's old. So Wilder's fighting him. So yeah, give him his props. The PBC should be about not about color or race, but about the best fighting the best. There's a way you can easily shut out the franchise championship belts. And I'll explain how this goes. You see, you've got Canelo and you've got Lomachenko. You've got two guys here that don't speak the greatest of English. So, you know, you can use that to an advantage. If they don't want to learn to speak English, that's fine. That's a community, a whole community of people that are not able to, they have to go through translators. That's fine. You know, there's ways you can get around that. The other thing we can take into consideration is this. And I want you to look at something here, Al. Something I want you to look at. Jermall Charlo, I can't remember which one. Jamal, I don't know which one it is. The one that's the light middleweight champion who just lost the WBC title. Now, I predicted that WBC title, he would lose that WBC title. I said, on that night, one of those Charlos were going to lose. One of those Charlos was going to lose. One of those Charlos was going to lose, right? And it so happened to be the other Charlo, the younger Charlo, or the light middleweight Charlo, who happened to lose it to Tony Harrison, who James Bashir rated as a very good boxer. You know, he was from the Manny Stewart, one of the Manny Stewart fighters, and Tony Harrison from Detroit also has been a regular on this channel. So kudos to Tony Harrison for becoming champion of the world. Didn't do it the night he fought Hurd. I thought he was going to beat Hurd that night, but he goes on and he becomes champion. And I tell you something now, Jermall Charlo or Jamal, whichever one they are, this fight, I'll look at this fight. This fight here is going to put Charlo on the map in a different kind of way. Because before this fight, yeah, the knockout he had against, I can't remember what the guy's name was. And through the uppercut, knocked the guy out. Beautiful knockout. It was great. But this fight is drawing a kind of attention because of the way Harrison's talking to him. This is a real fight. People want to know that if Charlo can really fight because of this guy from Detroit. He's running up and he's talking a lot of gas. And if we kept it within the PBC boundaries and we used the fighters like that with that sort of energy, talking that kind of way, talking that kind of greasiness, without it getting out of hand, you know what? You could create a lot of fights. I can't see Canelo, you know, really opening his mouth. You know, they'd have to use an interpreter every time when Canelo talks. You know, or I can't see Lomachenko being involved with that unless it's somebody who's going to talk greasy to him. And I can't see a lot of people talking greasy to Lomachenko, and I can't see a lot of people talking greasy to Canelo. But you see these fights here, you have the opportunity, Al, with these fighters in your account to create some buzz with some really great fights. You have Deontay Wilder, who is by far the biggest puncher in world boxing today, arguably one of the biggest punchers on the planet. Period. Right? We have that, and you know, PBC can really ramp that up. I like the way you're promoting the fights with Ortiz and Wilder. That's really good. But you know, and of course, you're building up to that Tyson Fury rematch, which is great. But yeah, I think there needs to be a tournament. PBC needs to have a tournament, and I think PBC need to really tap into the YouTube community in a different way. Al, there's a way you can tap into the PBC community with the YouTube community in a manner which is classy, which is a manner which is good, which is a manner that is wholesome, which is a manner which they can't get. They don't get it. They won't get it. They'll steal, they'll grab, but they don't understand. You understand? They don't get it. Right? And once again, I was approached, not for the first time, not for the second time, not for the third time, not for the fourth time, not for the fifth time, not for the sixth time, not even the 10th time I was approached about getting involved in boxing in a very serious manner. And you know what? I might just damn well answer that call now. I will damn well answer that call. And Mr. Al, wherever you are in the world today, I'd like to talk with you. I would like to talk with you because you know what? I've got some great ideas I'd love to talk to you about. I really would. I really would. I've sat back enough, I've seen enough, I've watched enough, and I'm prepared to do what it takes to be involved in this sport in a whole different way. I really want to be involved with it. It's time. It's definitely time. But with these belts, you see, I think the way the incentive for these world champions to drop these sanctioning bodies and these belts, yeah, forget the rankings, forget the belts, right? Put them to one side and make them want to fight for the BBC belt. And say, you know what? You're not paying for a sanctioning body. You're not paying for the sanctioning body, but you do pay a percentage out of when you fight. You know, every time you get the tournament, your percentage of your pay will go towards, hey, the revenue generated this fight will go towards what the sanctioning fee would have, or the for fighting for the belt you will get instead. There's a certain amount of money you will pay to enter that tournament from the fighter. The fighter will still get paid, but a percentage of their cut of their money will go towards the fight itself, or towards the actual coffers for the actual trophy and the belt. That's a way that could happen. All right. That's a way it can happen. So they could drop the sanctioning belts, right? You can have your own, your own judges, your own referee. We know how corrupt these judges and referees have been previously. You can get your own venues, have your own fights. I mean, bloody hell, they're just doing an event now for Ruiz and Joshua, and building a stadium for that. So come on, it's not out the realms of possibility. These things can't happen. These things can happen. If the belts if they want to be corrupt, this is why another reason why I think Deontay Wilder should refuse the franchise championship belt. Refuse it point blank. And any PBC fighter should refuse that franchise belt and make that franchise belt be a poison and a chalice for what it is. For what it is. Let's kick racism out of boxing. Let's kick all this prejudice out of boxing. The way we do it, we purge it. We purge the swamp, and this is how we go about it. That's it. That's it, Lubin. That's the fight. Brother, that's the one. So this is how I would go about it. Don't sit in here and ask me how am I going to propose to do this happen. Don't ask me them damn questions. Al's got the money. Al can maneuver. And what a lot of you don't understand is where Al's come from. Al's come from Motown. None of these clowns that are in boxing at the moment can touch Al Heyman when it comes to maneuvering and management. You come from Motown. Some of you don't even know what Motown is. If you understand what Motown is, you'd understand. The kind of men that I look at, Goldie, the guy that actually set up Motown. That's and a lot of you people are say, how did he got? How did he? You can't create Motown. Well, he made Motown. And when you look at someone like Al Heyman, who's been around that sort of environment and what those sort of superstars, not just of boxing but in business, superstars he's worked with. You understand? These people, these promoters around a small change in comparison to what Al has done and what Al can do. So anything is possible with Al and Heyman. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I believe so. And we've seen it. We've seen it. I remember sitting down talking with Eddie Hearn, and I said to Eddie at the time when I sat down did that interview, I said to him, Eddie, what do you think of the possibility of Al Heyman coming to the UK and getting a TV deal? And Eddie looked in my face and told me, well, Al Heyman, how's he going to get a TV deal? I think he got the TV deal all right. And that was when Golovkin was fighting Brook. So I could see it coming. I could see it coming. And if Al's going to be successful in the UK, then there's some things that, really successful in the UK, there's some things that need to change. There's some things, fundamental things that need to change. And that's a conversation I'd definitely like to have with you as well, Mr. Heyman. Absolutely. What's the sense of asking specific questions like Ingram works for PBC? Let me go back and read some of these comments now. I've got to read some of these comments. Let me zoom this up a second. um, what do you mean it's kind of pointless? Only PBC fighters fight for it. What's more pointless? Fighters fighting for belts for the best to fight the best, or for the franchise belt to be around for guys to duck at a mandatory fights, and even if they lose the belt that day, that they still champion. That's what I call pointless. That's what I call pointless. How can you call this pointless? It sounds like you're kind of biased to me, my friend. If the best are fighting the best, what's the problem? Why do you want to pay $24.95 for a pay-per-view event? Um against a guy. Okay, yeah, I don't see the point of Ruiz Joshua being $24.95 against a guy that got knocked down 4 times. That wasn't a fluke defeat. That was a systematic beating. And a guy who's technically more sound and a better fighter. $24.95 for a fight that could end in a round or two with Ruiz winning. I don't know. $24.95. That's how you thank the fans. But go ahead. The dude was spamming the chat with questions or whatever. Well, we know where he's coming from. Hamza, let's open this conversation up, mate. Me and you have a chat. Let's talk about this PBC thing. Because I really think that this PBC, okay, yeah, exactly, pointless. Receiving a paper belt you can't lose nor defend. No, that's it. That's it. Well, we know what it is. We know what a lot of people in here, we know what it is. We know what they're about. We know what the energy is about. So I'll keep talking though. I'll keep talking. I'll keep on saying what I'm saying. I'm not going with any agendas. I'm going with these are things that need to happen within boxing. They need to happen. Get rid of make these belts. All these belts that are here. Get rid of them all. Get shot at them. And the way you get shot at them is by saying the champions, you know what? You can keep your belt and keep paying the sanctioning fees. Or you could join us. You could join us, not pay the sanctioning fees. Not paying the sanctioning fees. And we'll give you a package that secures not only you and your career, but your career after that. $24.95 from the guy who said pay-per-view is dead. The PBC belt is a great idea. Let's call it what it is. These franchise belts came into play to allow certain fighters to duck black fighters who could beat them. Listen. You can say what you want about. We know what the franchise tag. We know that racism is very, 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 very prevalent in the sport of boxing. We know it. It's obvious. It's clear to see. It's clear as day to see. I go back and I'll say it myself. James Elibshire got attacked. If that was Teddy Atlas, if that was Lou Duva, if that was let me think, Customado, if that was Bob Arum that got attacked like that, just imagine. Just imagine an old school trainer getting attacked like that. Just imagine. Of course I was right. Of course I was right. And that's what they don't like. That's why a lot of these dudes don't like what I've got to say. And they don't like what I've got to say, but they're always on my channel. And I know they're on my channel. And I know you're watching. And I know you keep watching my stuff. And I'm going to keep telling you. You keep talking. Keep going on. But you know what? Careful. Because you keep talking, you keep saying these things, and you keep getting exposed each and every time. Look, I'll give you my predictions on fights. And you know that's subjective of what happens in a fight. But things like this with business, listen to me. Listen to me. If I'm PBC, I sign up Dillian White. If I'm PBC, I sign even if Joshua loses, to Andy Ruiz, I hope PBC have a hand and Al Heyman has a quiet hand with Anthony Joshua. If I'm PBC now, Al, sign Buatsi, sign Okoli. I'm saying to you, sign these guys, right? And when you sign PBC, I think PBC need to have their own trainers, and that with the PBC trainers, make sure these PBC trainers are trainers that are not being recognised but are top trainers. Guys like Bashir and Shields, Shields, yeah, Ronnie Shields, all these trainers that are not getting the respect. These are the trainers that need to be given an opportunity, and you will get great fighters under your banner, PBC. You'll have great fighters with great trainers. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. They'll build a new vision for PBC. Do you mean, are you looking to take over? Looking as one says, we don't get weak, we get deep. Well, you sign the top trainers. I'm sick and tired of seeing the same old guys who are not really good trainers be mouthpieces. Sick and tired of it. There's some really great trainers that don't get the publicity. You know, so let's get those guys. Let's get those guys with those fighters. You know what I mean? Good to see guys like Derek James getting a you know their opportunity with guys like Errol Spence. Do you understand? And Jamal and Charlo. You know, that's good to see. And Ronnie Shields, it's good to see that because they're damn good trainers. They're damn good trainers. PBC needs to sign up all the top boxers, make the belts more appealing and relevant. The best fight, the best within PBC. That's it. What did we get? We've had Thurman versus Porter. We've had Thurman versus Garcia. We've had Pacquiao versus Thurman. Come on. You get Luis Ortiz versus Wilder. Come on. These things don't need hype. These things don't need build up. We've had Spence versus Porter. These things don't need hype. And then what ends up happening is guys like Crawford become irrelevant. So Crawford will now have to come to PBC because listen, I ain't in no big fights. I'm just fighting Joe Bloggs down the street. And that's how you freeze these people out. You freeze these people out by the best fighting the best. If you want to be the best, like you know how people run to Matchroom from the UK, they run to Matchroom. Oh yeah, I get to Matchroom, I'm going to get signed, and I'm going to go on Sky Sports. That's the way people should run to PBC because the best will fight the best. I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to fight the best versus the best. And Al, you start reaching out to other areas in boxing, not just get out of boxing and start getting your fighters being in basketball and American football. I like what you're doing at the moment. I like what some of these guys are going out and being in other areas and other fields. Bring other sponsors into the sport of boxing. Do crossovers. Man, Al, bring me to the table, bruv. Bring me to the table, bruv. So I don't want to hear no crap about it's not possible, it can't happen. Yeah, it can happen. And that's the way you freeze up the franchise champion. So let Canelo go on and fight Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders, fights that nobody really gives a damn about. And let's watch real fights with, you know, let's see real fights with real fights. That's what it's about. I love Terence Crawford. I would love to see Terence Crawford sign with Al Heyman. Would love to see and PBC. Love it. I'd love to Dillian White to sign. You know, Derek Chisora, get Derek Chisora, bring him in. Imagine, a PBC tournament. Let's see the top heavyweights: Wilder, Ortiz, Joshua, Ruiz, White, Fury if he doesn't want to do WWE, Chisora, Parker, Kubrat Pulev, and Usyk. Them guys. That would be the tournament. And straight shootouts. You know what I mean? Straight, no messing around. Straight shootouts. Best fighting the best. And within a year, we discover who the real heavyweight champion of the world is. Simple as. Done. Done. Clean up. Clean up. You know? Clean up. Europe versus America. Let's get it happening. Oh, we're going to have to get Hunter in as well. Pulev versus Hunter. Usyk versus Chisora. Let's see who else we've got there. Ruiz versus Wilder. Ortiz versus White. Come on, let's make these fights happen. Let's make these fights happen. Let's make these fights happen. Come on. Does it not make you excited to know that there's a possibility this could happen? And then another thing, if you're gonna get YouTubers on, don't get them on because they've got thousands and thousands of subscribers and influencers. Get YouTubers on that know what they're talking about. That when you look at their YouTube channel, they know what they're talking boxing. I'm not saying myself, but talk to people who actually know about the sport, who've got a track record, who know about the sport of boxing. I'm not just going to be there to be a celebrity, but to talk the truth. Let's get these people that on when they do commentate and talk the truth about what fights are, how fights are going to be. When people tell it like it is, people enjoy it because people like to know the truth, right? So, you know, let's make it happen. It doesn't have to be for the big fights. I mean, God, you got damn Steve Kim talking. And what's the other guy? You got Steve Kim and my boy, what's his name? Can't remember his name is. He's cool. You mean? What's your sentiments on Fury saying he doesn't want to fight in the UK because they treated him bad? Fury's full of crap. Fury's full of crap. Fury's already probably signed a contract that says, listen, your next 3 to 5 fights will be in the US because you're more marketable in the US. Let's be honest, brutally honest. When is Fury sold out an arena? When has Fury sold out an arena? Fury can't sell out an arena. Remember when he fought the fights he had in the UK? Remember the fights he had in the UK? Fury is no big ticket seller. He was never a big ticket seller. So I don't know where people are going with this. Fury's just spun it. Bottom line is he's not a ticket seller. He's not a big ticket seller. Never has been a big ticket seller for whatever reason that may be. And so now he's gone to America where he's got the backing of some like Top Rank and Bob Arum, where they're looking for, let's be honest, be truthful, they're looking for a white heavyweight. They're the big white hope. That's what they're looking for, and that's what they got. And because the heavyweights in the US, the white heavyweights in the US are terrible. There's no more Tommy Morrison, and they need to get another heavyweight, because they need to have a hope. There's no Jerry Cooney. There's no, so they've got Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury is the white hope, and they've marketed him up as American, but he's not. That's what it is. So Fury is in that American market, and he's making a name for himself in the American market, and he's got a good pull because of the Irish American fans. He's got that pull over there in America. So I think that's the reason why Fury, he's going to pull more of a crowd, and more people do more for him in America than he'll ever do for him in the UK. And if Dillian White was smart, he would probably gone to Top Rank. But I think Dillian should go with PBC. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll keep on saying it. I said that Joshua should have joined PBC when he was with after the Parker fight. I said that. So, LOL. That's only a handful of YouTubers, bruv. Most people involved in boxing don't know what the F they're talking about. Well, let's make it to be so. Then make it so. Then makes it easier for Hamza. Then it makes it much easier for YouTubers then to those ones who actually do know what they're talking about. It's better for the brand, bro. I mean, did you listen to the commentary on Sky Sports? With that, I didn't know who the guy was talking about. This is a brilliant fight. What with KSI and Logan? Really? You guys said, listen, this is garbage. But you can't put that on live television. I mean, that's why Prince Nazim Hamid was so funny when he was said, Chris Eubanks Jr. needs to stop boxing. And he looked to the camera because it was off script. It was what we really wanted to hear. It was the truth. Haha, Fury never sold out a show in the UK. No, he hasn't. If White joined PBC, he wouldn't have a 2021 mandatory. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. I would have made that fight with White then. Because of what probably who White's connected to. It's a political game as well. But that would be a power move. If Dillian White joined PBC, it'd be a power move. So Bal's got a great opportunity. to really dominate, because Sky Sports and DAZN are terrible. Interesting that Nas hasn't been invited back since. Silenced. Well, yeah. If I were PBC, I'd sign up Prince Nazim anyway. Definitely. Where all these mistakes have been made by these promoters and the arrogance, they're making so much because they've got money, but they're making lots of mistakes. They're making schoolboy errors, and capitalizing the errors. The only reason why Sky Sports is getting away with what they get away with, because there's no competition. But once the competition comes about, and with the commentators, and you get a rival that actually can do great commentary, produce great fights. You know what I mean? ITV4 on a Saturday night, you're watching Spence versus Crawford, or you're watching Ruiz versus Wilder for undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. These fights. I don't like the idea of the WBO being. This is another reason why the belts have to go. Why all of a sudden is WBO going to get vacated so that we know that Chisora and Usyk fight? Because we know that fight's going to happen. And Charles Martin suddenly appeared back on Sky Sports. So, seems to me, if Charles Martin's on Sky Sports, then let me make a guess that Charles Martin versus Dillian Whyte's going to happen. You got to stop promoting the guy's face for a fight. And which British fighter is making a comeback into boxing soon? Dillian Whyte. And he seems to be training pretty hard, so he's got a fight coming up against a guy in the top 30. Charles Martin, Dillian Whyte, fight made. There you go. Sky messed up when they paired exclusively with Matchroom. They should have played UK market for the best content. That's what they should have done. It's okay. But let me ask you this question while we're here and I'm having this chat. How many next-gen fighters have gone on to become world champions? Good question. So where does this next gen journey go? No, next gen fighters go nowhere. They go nowhere. So yeah, but Okolie, that's different. I don't know if Okolie will be a world champion at this point. So yeah. So let me just fill this up. I'm just closing this video up. Smash the like button as always, people. So yeah, PBC belt, please. Thank you, Al. And now let's go for a PBC title. With PBC title, PBC the best fighting the best. YouTubers getting involved in a classy fashion with YouTubers who know about their boxing getting involved. Continue to capitalize on the poor commentary and state of content that Sky continue to shove down the throats because of the arrogance. And let's show the best fighting the best, regardless of color, creed, or background. The best fight the best. Hey Ingram, remember when DAZN entered the US market? Eddie Hearn was saying middleweight should sign to get the best fights. 1 year later, Andrade got sidetracked and Jacobs is fighting. Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, Eddie said to me when I met him, he said to me he was a second-hand car salesman. Within 30 seconds, he admitted to me more in 30 seconds or a minute than he did to most of these reporters. The second-hand car salesman that's full of BS. That's what he is. Eddie will say anything to get a pound out. That is what he is. It's what he is. He's in it for the money. He doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care. It might sound like he cares for the fans, only to push a fight through. He doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about you, right? All he cares is his back pocket and as an accountant, and that's fine if it makes money sense. If I can get a pound note out of it, that is what it's about. All it makes sense financially. That's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You understand? But just say it as it is. Don't pull it off as if you're the people's champ when you're not the people's champ. You're the people's chump. That's what it is. Fact. You know what I mean? Because you can't stay consistent. You say one thing one week and then do something next week. You're not consistent. He is consistently inconsistent. Compulsive liar. And doesn't know how. And if he had any sense, he'd get a decent matchmaker in. But it is what it is. So I don't have any sympathy. Jacobs, listen, I made a statement about Danny Jacobs last night, and somebody said I was wrong. Danny Jacobs, as far as I'm concerned, he A is happy to be alive, and B is happy to just be able to box. That is Danny Jacobs. That's what it is. Hi, I'm Danny Jacobs. I'm happy to be able to box. Hi, I'm Danny Jacobs. I'm here. I'm happy to be alive. And God bless his soul, Danny Jacobs. But he's not. He's an elite middleweight. He's not an elite middleweight. He's a good fighter. He's not. He may have been an elite middleweight pre the cancer, but post cancer, no. Stop it. He's elite middleweight. He ain't an elite middleweight. He's a good middleweight. He's not an elite middleweight. Okay? What's elite about him? Who's he beat that's elite? To be an elite middleweight. He's not an elite. He's a decent middleweight. He's a good middleweight. Could you imagine Danny Jacobs against Julian Jackson? Could you imagine Danny Jacobs against Gerald McLennan? Can you imagine Danny Jacobs against Chris Eubank Jr. or Senior or Nigel Benn? Are you joking me about Daniel Jacobs being an elite middleweight? Don't get me started. It's just crap that Eddie Hearn likes to ram down people's throats, right? And that's Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's just been recycled because he's run out of money. He wants to make more money. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, this guy is a compulsive liar. Plus, he makes bad business decisions. Well, was it he decided of him and his dad together decided to avoid the Wilder fight for 100 million? Well, they're accountants. Well, that was a terrible decision because if they had Wilder versus Joshua, they'd have made over 100 million in a fight against Wilder. Instead, they got their ass whooped by Ruiz. So, who would you rather got whooped by, Wilder or Ruiz? Idiots. But anyway, moving on. Canelo and GGG have got free reign for handpick opponents and got paid royally for it. Andrade ain't gonna fight anybody of note on DAZN unless he looks weak. Listen, Andrade needs to pick his ass up. His Prince looking Rick James self. Take his ass over to PBC. That's what he needs to be doing with his ass. And I have no sympathy for anybody who signs with DAZN. Anybody who signs with DAZN and they're black, I got no sympathy whatsoever for them. That's what it is. Go and join Al Heyman. Agreed. Jacobs is B level. He beat Quillin, but Quillin has looked bad ever since and he's been inactive too. Yeah. But Quillin always fought like a guy with his head in rabbit in headlights. You look at him fight. That's what it was. I'm saying stuff that people don't like. But if we can get past the illusion, if we can get past the bullshit that we've been sold, and if we can start looking at things for what they actually are, as opposed to what we're being fed, there's two different situations. If we can look and say, okay, you know what? This is what they're feeding us, but this is the truth. So, sadly, I don't like saying it is what it is, but we just got to be straight up and honest and see things as they are. Is Lomachenko a good fighter? Yes, he's a good fighter. Is he the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Hell no, he's not. Never been undisputed. All right? So don't tell me about him being the best pound-for-pound. You got Usyk that traveled the world, right? And became undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. And Lomachenko is higher rated than him. But Usyk fought the best in the world for the light heavyweight, for the cruiserweight championship, for all the guys, all the killers in the cruiserweight division, and went on and became undisputed champion, traveling around the world, not handpicking his opponents, and fought the best there was out there. And he's not in a pound for pound top three. And he's moving from cruiserweight to heavyweight. Come on. Talk to me, people. Yes, Lomachenko has not paid his dues. Sorry. And I'm gonna say this point, right? I'm gonna say this point. I think I'm getting to the point where I think that guys that fight in these tournaments should get more recognition than guys that don't, because at least they're challenging themselves to fight the best versus the best. Quillin is regressed badly. I was really disappointed in his last fight. Eddie cries in one IFL phone about the dangers of the sport. Then he puts on another fight in another state because the fight is banned by Vegas for missing drugs test. Yeah, but that is him in a nutshell. A snake is a snake. No matter if you give a snake £1 million, it's still a snake. You dress a snake up, it's still a snake. A snake is a snake is a snake. That's it. Sick and tired of this garbage. People trying to paint people up to be what they're not, messiahs and stuff. Money over morals with them, with her. Loma is decent, but he hasn't done enough to get all the undue praise. He hasn't. Loma stayed in the amateurs way too long, like a lot of these Russian Ukrainians. Okay, fine. Lomachenko's a good fighter. Great. I ain't going as far as that. Good fighter. Simple as. Listen, I think, like I said, Tony Harrison and Charlo is the best thing that happened to Charlo's career. Best thing that happened to Charlo's career. And long may it continue. Long may it continue. Once people his age at the lower weights can't be ignored. I think we've seen the peak of Loma now. Yeah, that is the peak. That's the best. Put it this way. If Luke Campbell actually believed himself a bit more and said, you know what, you're having it tonight, Lomachenko, you'd have seen a different fight. Look what Luke Campbell did to Lomachenko, and Luke Campbell didn't fought like a scared cat for most of that fight. If Luke Campbell had set himself and said, you know what, you're having it tonight. I don't care if I get knocked out, but you're having it tonight. It'd have been a different fight. Eddie contradicts himself, although he gets those softball questions by interviews. That's why, because Eddie knows what's coming. He knows he don't want another one of me coming up and asking him damn questions. If Loma looks more impressive now, that would be a little suspicious to me. Of course. But here's another thing. I call Eddie Hearn a Teflon man. There's two men in the world I call Teflon. Donald Trump and Eddie Hearn. You know why? Because nothing seems to stick to them. So the amount of stuff through the years Eddie Hearn's been involved with and caught with, but or accused of, but for some reason it doesn't stick. Let me tell you something. Was any other of these small hall promoters, it'd have more than stuck. So there you have it. I'm out of here because I think I'm upsetting a lot of people here, but it is what it is. Long may the PBC belt reign. Long may PBC produce the best fights in the world. And if you put them all, if you have all the best fights of PBC and the ITV boxing, then people will switch off of Sky Sports. It'll put pressure on Sky to deliver major fights, and it will put pressure on not to deliver big fights. A lot of what Eddie claimed didn't come true, like Wilder Fury last year not coming true. He shouldn't even be taken seriously for the amount of statements he's been dead wrong on. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right when I make that. If I make a statement that's wrong, it's okay. I'll get pulverized for it. But if Eddie does it, it's okay. That shows you how the sort of people that kind of are around him, vampires. Eddie Stabler's getting weaker by the minute, and if AJ loses again, that will be a fatal blow. Well, that's why you're getting charged $24.95. It's the insurance purpose. Listen, if AJ gets his ass whooped on against Riz, which is a strong possibility, if that happens, then guess what? We got raking the most money as possible for the for AJ's loss. So we need to get maximum amount of money out of Saudi Arabia, not get taxed, get maximum amount of money out of Saudi Arabia, and on top of that, get maximum out of the people in the UK and continue to make fools of them for $24.95. So even if their boy AJ gets beat, we don't care. We're accountants. We're making as much money as possible. so Sky can be happy. That's what it is. I've said this before about Eddie Hearn and his stable. I've said it before. How many big stars do they have? And the reason that they have big stars is because the matchmaking is garbage. If they had good matchmaking, then the matchmaking make the right fights at the right time. They'd have stars in that division, in that stable. But instead, you want to keep fighting garbage against garbage and garbage opponents. And then what happens is when you get a step up fight, you get exposed. Why? Because you're not ready for those fights, because you've not had the fights the way you should have. That's how it should be, but you're not doing it that way. Carry on. At Danny Brown, he already tried to push Katie Taylor, who lost to a part-time cop and fled the weight class and ducked the rematch. Of course, because we all know what it is. Billy Joe, he looks worse each time out against worse opposition. Billy Joe's finished, man. Done. Finished. Finito. Done. Katie Taylor, pay-per-view fighter, according to her. Yeah, okay, if he says so. But I love Billy, but he's done. Frank Warren's not dumb, you know. Frank Warren's not stupid, you know. Frank ain't stupid. Frank ain't stupid. Do you think Frank's made a loss losing Billy Joe Saunders? Danny Brown, that's why Canelo is targeting now. Billy Joe Saunders has been in Kiston since a while, but he's regressed. Yeah. So, either one, like I said to you before, Billy Joe Saunders or Callum Smith, they are both guys that are in the pastures, eating the grass, getting ready to be slaughtered. Any one of them two can get it. I'd faster go and fight Billy Joe Saunders at this point in time. I really would. You don't have to worry about height and reach. You know. Yeah, of course he cut his losses with Billy Joe. If you look at the two guys, what Matchroom is the best way to describe the two camps? Show substance. Show substance. Matchroom show you how to get it classically wrong in management with fighters, and Frank Warren shows you how to get it right with fighters. Look what he's done with Warrington. Look what he did with Warrington. Okay. I think Frank could map out would have mapped out a better road for Dave Allen than Eddie did. That's what I think, personally. Callum will lose to Canelo as well. If a kickboxer can back him up the whole fight, then what will Canelo do? That's what I've said it. You know it. I've said it before. That's what it is. Matchroom production quality is something Warren could learn from. Yeah, whatever about that. I mean, production quality. Let me ask you a question. If the production quality weren't great, but the fights were great, what would you prefer? I know what I prefer. Forget the production quality. Can the guys fight? Are they going to fight? Are we going to get a tear up? That's what I want to know. I'm here for boxing. I'm not here for graphics. So don't tell me enough about no damn production line. I want to see fights. Right? I want to see fights. When Sean Porter and Spence were fighting, you think anyone's worrying about the production at the time? They're worrying about the fight. That's all that matters. So the quality of fights are far better than Hearn's. We know that. Look at what Matchroom did to Kell Brook. Let me tell you something. Imagine Warren being on Sky now. Look what Matchroom did to Kell Brook. Well, that's it. That's what I said. And I said to Eddie, you're throwing Kell under the bus. Did he not throw him under the bus? That if you want to know the character of somebody, see what they do in the moment of when it comes to the moment of truth. What did he do with Kell Brook? What has he done with Anthony Joshua? Those are his stars, by the way. So don't think Alexander Usyk is going to get treated any differently. If you can do it to Joshua and you can do it to Kell Brook, two of your big sellers, he'll do it to anybody. That includes you, Nigel Benn. What's his name? Conor Benn. That includes you. That includes you, Okoli. That includes you, Buatsi. Don't worry, both your times are coming pretty soon. Because if it's the same model of garbage of matchmaking, Buatsi, your last fight, you're lucky. Because that, you see, you get caught with that overhand right, and you kept getting caught with overhand right. And I know what's going to happen. You're going to go back to camp and fight this, train the same shit again. And then you go back, fight again. And then someone's going to catch you the overhand right. Your goose is getting ready to cook, Mr. Buatsi. Same with you, Mr. Coley. That last guy you fought that tagged you and caught you, and people didn't see you got buzzed. You two guys are Coley and Buatsi. I keep telling you, those two guys are going to get cooked soon. Wait. Watch and see. Those two guys are getting cooked pretty soon. And I'm not being a hater when I say this. I'm not being a hater when I say this. I'm just saying to you that I see it. You can see it coming. It's like a road crash about to happen. Yeah, that's true. But production is something casuals care about. And I'd hardcores get good fights with that. Then that's good all round. Kettle was meant to be our biggest star. Was he? Well, that's how he treated your biggest star, right? He's now currently weighing around somewhere around 200-pound mark and still hoping for a calm payday. Matchroom making, put fighters in there with weak competition, then put them in there with B-level fighters and ruin their careers. That is what it is. I'm not hating. I'm just seeing things for what they are. And if you can come with a strong argument, then I'm willing to listen to it. That's why this channel is not liked, because it's not sitting down and playing up to the garbage and the propaganda they'd like me to sell. So I don't care. You don't like me, I don't like you. Simple. You don't like me, I don't like you. So you stay in your line, you do your stuff. You need to do well, I'll tell you do well. I'll say you did well. That was great. But when you're trying to sell rubbish to me, then I'm going to tell you you're selling rubbish to me. That's it. That's all right. It's cool. So I'm still waiting. I am still waiting for the Matchroom. I don't know who it's going to be, but I keep feeling fighters coming out of retirement for one fight only. I keep feeling it's this uneasy feeling that someone's going to come out of retirement. A couple of fighters are going to come out of retirement. You know, either a night for the oldies, or just one night of just all these old fighters coming. I just keep feeling it, and I don't know why I keep feeling it. I keep feeling it. And the other thing I'm starting to feel as well is the YouTubers. Like, see, I can see how through the media outlets that are sponsored by Matchroom, or when I say sponsored by Matchroom, that are looked after, I can see them picking out certain YouTubers and using them and bringing them on board. I can see that happening. But anybody's got any sense ain't gonna stick with that. Go with that. Some of them will get sold. Will sell out to the money, which I get. I get it. I understand. Still feel we'll see that Froch return. His ego's too big not to crave it. We might do. Froch, Bellew, Okolie versus Macronelli, Okolie versus Bellew, one for the ages. I don't know. You could see it happening. Former WBC cruiserweight champion of the world versus, the up and coming Okolie. Match of 11 classics. Yeah. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the Matchroom football team. I'm waiting for it. Matchroom football team. Maybe Eddie goes in goal, or Captain Eddie. I don't know. I just anything is possible with that lot, because they're so arrogant. They'll do it. 841 or older right now. I liked it when he was active, though. He always found a way to win. Yeah, he did. Apart from when he fought. Kessler in the fog, and when he fought Andre Ward. So, right, I'm out of here. I think I've done enough. I've got up in a stink this morning and I've let rip. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Eddie trying to revive the golden times. I hope you've. Yeah, I just had to say these things regarding the PBC belt and Matchroom and all the rest of it. So I don't. I think I'll not say anything again for another few months unless my words come to pass. We'll wait and see. Right, I'm out of here. Let's wait and see whether we get the PBC belt and the PBC tournament and the best fighting the best. And Uncle Al, next year, 2020, let's make it happen.